Hello everybody, this is day 2 of I Can Prove Triangles Are Congruent using Parallelogram Properties. We did 1, 2, 3, well we did up to 4 I believe, and now 5 through 8 will be today. So what I'm going to do, I'll write one of them out, but outside of that I'm just going to kind of mark the diagram and then I'll let you do it on your own from there. So, I'm always proving triangles are congruent. Is it obvious which triangles are proving congruent here? It is to me. I got that one and that one. So, ABCD is a rhombus. What properties of the rhombus are going to help me with those triangles? That's the question you have to answer. Take a moment. I want you to figure out which property of the rhombus is going to help you with the triangles. All right, the property of the rectangle of the rhombus that will help you with the triangles is a rhombus has all sides congruent. So AD is congruent to DC. I'm sorry, one is ABCD is a rhombus. Given. And now I can say, oh, this thing won't stay. AD is congruent to DC. And the reason a rhombus has all sides congruent. That's all we can get from the rhombus. From here we move on. Next given, AE is congruent to CE. AE is congruent to CE. The reason given. Now I have two things congruent. I'm out of givens. I go to my additional tools, VRIAS. V, no, there's no vertical angles. R, yes, there's reflexive property. So I can say DE is congruent to DE. That's reflexive property. And now I can state that the triangles are congruent. So I can say that triangle ADE is congruent to triangle CDE. The reason is SSS, since I proved 3 pairs of sides. And now that the triangles are congruent, I can prove what they want me to prove, that angle ADE is congruent to angle CDE, and the reason CPCTC. So it's just a basic, straightforward knowing how to do a proof. The only thing that's new for this lesson is right here. You have to use the parallelogram properties to help you with the triangles. So I'm not going to write any more of these out. We'll just talk about marking them up. At this point, you're expected to know how to write out a proof. we're always proving triangles are congruent. Is it obvious which triangles I'm proving congruent here? It is to me. I see this triangle, and I see this triangle. It's telling me that it's an ABCD to parallelogram. So what properties of the parallelogram are going to help you with those triangles? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to figure that out. As a hint, in this particular problem, there are two properties of the parallelogram that's going to help you with those triangles. 30 seconds. A parallelogram has opposite sides congruent, and those are sides of the triangles you're trying to prove. A parallelogram has opposite angles congruent. Those are angles of the triangles we're trying to prove. From there, we have perpendicular. Perpendicular lines form congruent right angles, AAS, and then we have our CPCTC. 7. We're always proving triangles are congruent. Is it obvious which triangles I'm proving congruent? It is to me. I see this triangle and this triangle. So what property of the square is going to help you with those triangles? I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. As a hint, there's only one property of the square that's going to help you with those triangles in this particular example. Again, you're trying to determine what property of the square is going to help you with those triangles. A square has all sides congruent. BA and AD are congruent because of the square. They're also sides of the triangles you're trying to prove. Next given, FA is congruent to AE. That's two things. I'm out of givens. I look for vertical angles and reflexive property. I have vertical angles, SAS, CPCTC. And again, you can look at my key. It's on Schlansky.com, password Tyler, but I'm not going to write out the full proofs for this. And the last one here, is it obvious which triangles I'm proving congruent? No, I see a lot of triangles going on here, but it's telling me which triangles it wants. It wants ABE, and it wants ADF. It's telling me that ABCD is a rhombus. So right now, I want you to determine what property or properties of the rhombus are going to help you with those triangles. As a hint, there are two properties of the rhombus that are going to help you with the triangles. Refer back to your page that has all your rhombus properties if you need to. I'll give you about 45 seconds. There are two properties of the rhombus that are going to help you with those triangles. Take about 45 seconds. Okay, a rhombus has all sides congruent. AB and AD are sides of the triangles that you're trying to prove. A rhombus has diagonals that bisect the angles. Those are angles of the triangles you're trying to prove. That's two pairs of things congruent. It then is telling me I have some perpendiculars, so BE and AC makes this a right angle. DF and AC makes that a right angle. That gives me AAS. No CPCTC in this example, since they're not asking us to prove a side or an angle. So proofs are proofs. We're always proving triangles are congruent. To prove triangles are congruent, we're proving three things. To get your three things, you do your mini proofs. What's new now is if they give you a rhombus or a rectangle or a square or a parallelogram, you have to utilize those properties to help you with your triangles. So you'll have a quiz on this, which will be due tonight. And then we're going to stop this unit here. Even though there's more in your packet, we're just going to hold that off till a later time. And we're going to test. We'll review tomorrow, and we're going to test on over the weekend. Any questions, let me know. See ya.